Report on the humanitarian situation of Southern Cameroonian refugees in Nigeria.
Papa, what's your house there? Your own house, who's there?
I like a house.
You don't get house.
This thing. A tent.
You get a tent.
Here I am in Adagon 3 settlement, and it's in one of the huts. You can see, for example, what the executive was talking about, that our parents are sleeping, our grandparents, you see what they are sleeping on mats.
The vulnerable peoples of British Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia continue to suffer neglect, pain and hardship even as they yearn for succor in far distant countries after having been forced to flee to safety from the genocidal onslaught that has enveloped their homeland since 2016 and has displaced over 1 million persons, with women and children being the overwhelming majority. Forced displacement of people during conflict is a major humanitarian challenge that calls for immediate action to protect the lives and dignity of those trapped in conflict. In neighboring Nigeria, Southern Cameroonian refugees do not only battle the challenging task of being identified, registered and settled in line with the UNHCR mandate, some have literally been subjected to very deplorable conditions and abandoned to the stink of human decay.
So you can imagine what is happening to them. So now, because of this, that caused one of these our dads to fall sick. So you can imagine a man of his age sleeping on the mats. This is almost like sleeping on bare floor. Good afternoon, eh? Well, Asha, you say now wait till they worry you. Yeah, where's the hut? Where? So is it kind of paralysis or what?
I don't know. We have struggled. It's over 3 months today. I only carry him with my bag to go and put him in the toilet and back to the house just like it for 3 months now.
Wonderful.
That's how I do.
So have you been able to take him to the hospital for a doctor to assess?
He gone to the general hospital. They say his situation is more than him. He needs to be referred to the teaching hospital.
We were informed at HSS about the deplorable conditions that our people are living in Adagon 3 refugee settlement. So we decided to send our HSS director, Comrade Kia Jude, from Nigeria, to go out for a fact-finding mission at Adagon 3 refugee settlement. When we got the report, the images we saw were deplorable, very painful images of our people and the conditions that they're living in. People sleeping on the floor on mats with no mattresses, no food to eat. But not only that, a lot of them had some chronic conditions. They were sick and had some chronic conditions that they were dealing with.
Now, Hope Relief Foundation, they don't come visit you. So the one sister where you sleep, Papa. Papa, how old are you? See, Papa, this Papa's bed. He sleeps on the floor. Papa, you don't be here how long? For 3 years today. 3 years today. Now Papa is bed this way he sleeps. So Papa no get mattress. Your name now is Abba Akumbo. Mommy, good evening. We don't come for you today for Adagon 3 when our Hope Relief Foundation send we. The more can see refugee them for you. Mommy, one see place where you sleep or they send we for you. So this is Mommy's. Is that not a mattress? This is where mommy sleeps. Mommy, I don't know anything. Mama, I coffee that room. This is her bed.
This is one of our mothers here in Adagon 3 settlement, as you can see. Chairman, what do you say happened to this our mother?
This our mother is leprous. She was leprous and bleeding on her hands. You can see her fingers. So she has been here for a very long time. This is the only thing the minister can afford for her. And she's here. She does not even have a mattress. This is a woman of over 82 years. And she sleeps on the bed floor. I don't know how we are just calling on the government to do something. This kind of thing. This has this, they are not only few. We have more than something in other countries just because of time. We have gone around the settlement. So this is one of the things.
Oh, this is horrible. Where, Mami Ashaya? Where, Asha? Yes, we will go put an ad for government, then they will see how they will come if you can't help you. Yeah, Mami? Yes.
Government of Ambazonia, I greet you all. My name is Inyam Randy Inyam, settlement leader for Adagom 3 refugee settlement, precisely in Ogoja, Nigeria. You can see our parents, our mom here right in front of me, and in all their numbers, all these persons have not been given mattresses since they were registered and we relocated to Adagom 3 by UNHCR. They are in a very good number of them, and not all are here because some cannot walk by themselves to this place. So it's the fortunate ones that they happen to be able to walk to this place that you can see. So we are begging on the interim government that they should do as much as possible to assist their people here in Adagom 3. We all know that they were not aware that a place exists like Adagom 3, but at least you can see with these videos that Adagom 3 is in reality.
When the letter from the UNHCR stating that they were going to reduce the refugee stipends to 2,000 naira a month, and not only that, that after that they were going to stop providing stipends to refugees. When the letter got to us, I must say that it was very painful when we got the letter. Why? Because we already know with the little support that they're providing to our refugees, it still wasn't enough. Our refugees are still living in very deplorable conditions, some of which you could have seen on the videos that came in from the Adagon refugee camp. The Adagon 3 refugee camp is a registered UNHCR camp. So you see the conditions that they're living in, even when being supported by giving those stipend by the UNHCR. But I'm going to say that us as the government, or as the members of this interim government, we owe it to our people. We will continue to take care of our people, but at the same time, we are hoping that the UNHCR is going to change that decision. Because I think they stated in the letter that they don't have any support. We are hoping that they should find some kind of support to be able to change that decision to continue to provide the support that our people really need. We really thank the UNHCR for the help that they've been providing, even though it's not been enough.
In reality, thank you very much. I will still carry you back to where we have chronically ill persons in Adagom 3. They have not been able to come. You can see this our mother who has been so chronically ill. You see her stomach. The UNHCR has not been doing anything about this. We call on you to really do something about this, and precisely onto my father, whom you already have an information of him. Look at him lying, as we said about mattresses. We don't have mattresses. Look at where my father, the settlement chairman's father, is lying, almost on a bare floor. So we are appealing that you do something to it. Thank you very much.
After receiving that report and the images, we sat down at the department and decided to do something.
Today, the 4th of June 2021. So you have seen it for yourself. Thank you. Today we're at the 4th of June 2021. When I hear no, yes, when Republique Foundation, they don't come visit now. Yeah, Republique Foundation don't come visit now. Now when I part in this way, you know, and I chairperson and this now chair lady, you know. Okay, chair lady and chairperson when I come, when I see what you kind of come to.
Adagon 3 don't go as far as getting a face in Bokwe is make we turn our eyes again, oh. We don't see this thing. Nama trust this.
We pray that they continue to provide them the support, while at the same time, the level of the Department of Health and Social Services of this interim government, we will continue to do the best that we can to reach out to our people. We will continue to do the best that we can to reach out to international humanitarian organizations or NGOs and seek for help that it could go a long way in helping our people. I would like to take this moment again once more to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia for his great show of leadership and guidance, great vision for free and independent Southern Cameroons. The support that you have all been providing to the Department of Health and Social Services of this interim government have gone a long way in helping our people that are internally displaced in Ground Zero, that are in the prisons, both in Ground Zero and in neighboring French Cameroon and other areas in the diaspora. The support that you've been supporting this HSS has gone a long way in helping our brothers and sisters in the refugee camp.
Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ABC Amber TV, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely here in Houston. It's a privilege to be with you once more today, and we continue to ask the question, who owns the land? Who owns the land? Of course, the land here refers to the land of Ambazonia, what we call today the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, formerly known as the British Southern Cameroon. Again, good evening to all of you joining from Ground Zero, from all of Africa through satellite, Europe, the United Kingdom, Canada, the USA, Mexico, all of South America. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. It is an exciting day, ladies and gentlemen, to be alive and to be here with you today. For those of you joining by way of Facebook, please, you go ahead, hit your share button, let everybody know. The anchor man is not live, but actually alive. As you can see, I am actually talking to you. So please, if you are joining the broadcast by way of Facebook, go ahead, hit your share button. We're going to be having a very, very exciting presentation today. I am having the first segment having to do with a conversation, or you can call it an interview, with one of the international journalists based in Washington, D.C. We're going to be discussing about democracy, China, the world, and Africa. Again, China, the world, democracy, and Africa. And then after that, we're going to be talking about U.S. visas ban to French Cameroon government officials, talking about banning them from visiting the USA. We're going to be talking about all of this. So please, again, for those of you who are joining by way of Facebook, quickly go ahead and hit your share button. Let us quickly get this platform populated. We want to see in the next 5 minutes, at least 700 people in the next 5 minutes. We're close to 400 right now. So please go ahead, quickly hit your share button before I bring to you my guest of the day. I'm going to be having two guest panels today. And so that is why I have said it is going to be very, very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. So please, you go ahead, quickly hit your share button. I am glad to be with you back today. At the end of the broadcast, after the second segment, I shall be bringing you, I shall be opening the phone lines for those of you anywhere across the globe to be able to call in, ask a question, or make a contribution. Ask a question or make a contribution. So please, hit your share button. Hit your share button before I come to you proper. I'm trying to send out a link here to my guest who is on set with me from Washington, D.C., so bear with me, please. I need to send him the link to be able to forward to his colleagues out there. All right. So let me see. Okay, he got it. So ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much. Go ahead, quickly hit that share button for those of you watching by way of Facebook. Now, before I take you into the show proper, I'd like to inform all of you that we have learned of the release from Kondenge maximum prison in the colonial capital Yaoundé, the release of Barrister Amongwa Nicodemus, who was picked up by French Cameroon soldiers and put in detention almost a week ago. We learned that with the help of the Cameroon Bar Association president, Claire Atangana Bikuna, Barrister Nicodemus Amongwa was released today from behind bars in Yaoundé, ladies and gentlemen. So we are excited that Barrister Amongwa has regained his freedom. It is worth noting that Barrister Amongwa is one of the lawyers for all our detainees and prisoners in Yaoundé detention centers and across that country, Cameroon. He is one of those doing pro bono job for all our detainees in Yaoundé and across Cameroon. Barrister Amongwa is there seen in the middle, next to the lady in yellow, not the one in suit, but the one smiling in the jacket. And so that is Barrister Amongwa Nicodemus. He was again picked up last week by French Cameroon soldiers. We have learned of his release from detention today. We are excited about that, and we thank God he has finally regained his freedom and will continue to render his pro bono services to the people of Ambazonia who are in detention in French Cameroon. All right, now having said that, I want to say that Bo Herbert, ladies and gentlemen, was right here on Monday when he said, I essentially elevated George Ewane in the talking point, the presentation that I made on Monday about him. Coming to you live, I have just learned that George Ewane has just been appointed, or let me say promoted, ladies and gentlemen, as technical advisor at the presidency of La République du Cameroon. George Ewane has just been promoted technical advisor at the presidency of La République du Cameroon. Now, my informant says, after the program, after my show of last Monday, here on ABC, La République du Cameroon official said, he is doing a great job against Amber. George Ewane is doing a great job against Amber. And so they promoted him, appreciated him with a promotion. He is now technical advisor at the presidency. I don't know what he does there, ladies and gentlemen. This is a gentleman who calls himself a reporter, carries a dictionary anywhere, everywhere he goes, and that damn country promotes what he does. He calls for suicide. He calls for pogroms in Ambazonia, and the presidency promotes him to a technical advisor. Of course, I have no doubt he will be having some empty desk there at the presidency and doing nothing there but just for the title. And that is what happens in that country. And of course, in most of Africa. Again, George Ewane has been promoted to become technical advisor at the presidency of La République du Cameroon. He should thank me for that. I really think so. He should be thanking me for that. I hope his first salary, he sends a chunk of it to me here for appreciation. All right. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined with very, very special guest here coming to me from Washington, D.C., with the name Ayn Wendrow. Ayn Wendrow, ladies and gentlemen. Ayn Wendrow is a freelance journalist who has written for several Metro Detroit, Michigan, and international news outlets. His reporting on Africa has covered a wide range of topics, including Tuareg nationalist movements in Mali, the global impact of Cameroonian musician Manu Dibango, the historical context of Burundian political dysfunction, food insecurity in the Horn of Africa, and the growing Chinese presence in resource extraction in Africa, Ghana in particular. Ayn Wendrow holds a master's degree in journalism and a bachelor's in international relations from Michigan State University. Ayn, it's a pleasure to have you with me here, sir. Thank you and welcome to ABC Amber Television, sir. I hope you can hear me.
I can. Thank you for having me on your program, and I appreciate the lovely intro.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for honoring the invitation. Let's delve into this right away. We have spoken briefly about your career as a journalist and the work that you have done with specialty, with focus on Africa. Tell me, where have you been in Africa? Have you been to any of the countries, trouble zones in Africa?
My father actually is a South African national, so I have traveled on several occasions to... Yes. So I've been to South Africa on several occasions. I've unfortunately not been able to travel to other countries in the continent proper. I hope to ameliorate that once the pandemic is a little more managed. Otherwise, though, I have developed friendships and obviously sources from all across the continent. I've spoken to a number of scholars, including some Cameroonian diaspora, who either in South African universities or based in the United States or in Europe. But I've had an interest in the continent really since I was a little child. Just always found it a fascinating, it's a whole continent with so many ethnicities and languages there.
Right.
And I found some of the historical parallels very interesting to my own country, the United States.
Now, you have been very much focused on reporting on the environment, on the indigenous rights issues in Africa, and regional African trade, talking about the connection with China, the rest of the world, terrorism, security and trafficking, decentralization and federalism in Africa. Let's start with federalism and decentralization in Africa first. In Africa, you have basically two groups. You have part of Africa that was colonized by the French Empire, that is Anglo-Saxon, colonized by the British. Now, I believe you would have noted that part of Africa colonized by the French, they essentially talk about decentralization, federalism. The word federalism is not a popular phenomenon to them, but in Anglo-Saxon Africa, federalism is a very, very popular phenomenon. Now, between decentralization and federalism in Africa, where do you think, what are you talking about? Where precisely do you think decentralization is okay, federalism is okay?
That's one of those questions that unfortunately is going to be contingent on what country we're talking about in particular. A federalist model might work, for example, in Nigeria, that might not be applicable in, let's say, Sudan. But what I am generally talking about with federalism specifically is the recognition that African states, by virtue of the fact that their borders were drawn rather arbitrarily by colonial powers, ended up on independence being states that had a wide variety of ethnic and linguistic diversity within them. So in order to effectively promote the idea of there being a singular state, they had to embrace a federal model. The question then becomes, did they actually maintain proper federalist practices, or is it federalism in name only? And decentralization has been constantly talked about as perhaps a method by which federal states, especially ones that have entrenched too much power in the executive and the presidency, to properly dispense power sharing and decision making to lower level government structures in these countries. That really is, to put it simply, the big challenge of African governance today, is managing unity of the state while also being ensuring that it's not, on high dictation down to those below, that the people from the below and the subnational units have a fair and equal say in the federal government and vice versa.
You have, Ayn, a situation in Africa where most of former French colonies are revolting and not wanting to have anything to do with the French government and the French system. Look at Mali, for example. You have reported extensively on the Tuareg situation there. What do you think, in your opinion, is happening to these former French colonies where they don't want to see the French?
What I would say is we are witnessing the fact that despite formal decolonization happening in 1960, with most of French former colonies, Guinea is the exception that declared unilateral independence in 1958. What we are seeing, though, is that despite that formal colonialism ending, the actual colonial relations in terms of the economy and the political structure of these newly independent states and the relationship to the French metropole really hasn't changed. In the case of Cameroon, let's start with there, prior to independence, the French military and police and security forces undertook a deliberate program of warfare, psychological as well as physical, arbitrary arrests and disruption of the Union of the Peoples of the Cameroons, the UPC, which was a prominent independence movement at the time. And only recently sort of have researchers and journalists been able to access French archives and really dive more into that history, and realizing that, as they argue, there was a stolen independence. That though this country is on the international stage viewed as an independent sovereign state, in function it is still subordinated to French interests. So in the case of Mali, if we go to what's happening now in the Sahel, especially with Boko Haram and the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, France is there ostensibly to provide security services. It has been there for about almost a decade. And it really hasn't been successful. And so there's a natural frustration of, okay, why do we have the French here if they can't even provide for us? And then there's a sense of, well, wait a second, is French involvement here truly predicated on ending terrorism and providing for the security of the states here? Or is it more about ensuring that France maintains its political
French
and economic
President Emmanuel Macron was shaking hands in southern
extension in the region? You know, when we look at, for example, France's involvement in Mali specifically, it's uniquely coinciding with recent discoveries of massive natural gas deposits in the Taodani Basin, which is below the traditional Tuareg lands, as well as some uranium deposits there. So all this put together, there is this impression that France really isn't there to be a humanitarian partner or working in partnership. It feels paternalistic. It feels as if France is saying, oh, no, we'll handle this for you. And then in reality, it's not benefiting the African peoples that are there. And in many cases, actually entrenches some of the divisions that we're seeing there, whether ethnically based or religiously based. And given French colonial history that has used these sort of tensions in the past as in divide and rule, it's a suspicion that is not unwarranted, but is something that is posing a challenge, because there are ways that France could engage with African states. There are ways that could actually provide and help out. And certainly France is in a position to be a reliable partner, but it comes down to, is there French political will to meaningfully change the political structure of what's called France-Afrique, which is the term describing this sort of clandestine and neo-colonial relationship between France, its former colonies, and more specifically with the Francophile elites that govern these countries, and in the process have issues of corruption and failure to meet the needs of their own people, and oftentimes seem to be more interested in ensuring that they have good relations with France and continue good economic relations with France, even if that economic relation doesn't translate to prosperity and wealth for the average African, whichever country we're talking about.
One thing we have observed very recently is the French trying as much as possible to want Africans to believe that at the moment they want Africans to choose their leaders, to decide their own fate, their own economy. We saw French President Emmanuel Macron recently in Rwanda apologizing, but not apologizing to the genocide that took place in Rwanda. We have also seen him been to Ghana, been to Nigeria, essentially trying to say, listen, what the French have done in Africa in the past years was not palpable. Now we want Africa to be Africa. We want Africa to decide our own destiny. But at the same time, we see the French trying to decide what happens to the common African currency, the common African market. Do you ever see the French saying for real, we want Africa to be Africa, for Africa, by Africans?
I will say, to draw a distinction between the French people and the French government, I do believe that most French people, based on the revolutionary principles that define their current government, yes, they believe in the ideas of equality, human dignity, and self-determination. the French government.
Let me hold you a little bit on that. Let me hold you a little bit on that. When you draw the difference between the French people and their government, the moment a French citizen, it can be anyone. Anyone becomes the leader. He towards a policy. It's a matter of policy, isn't it? It's not like it is for the leaders who get there. It's a policy. So if you draw that difference, I mean, you are essentially saying the French government is different from its people. Whereas if you pick any French, put in that position of leadership, they execute the same policy.
That's a fair counterpoint. I should maybe more clarify that attitudes of the average Frenchman towards Africa is the belief that, yes, Africans can govern themselves and should be. And what the French government tells its citizens it is doing in Africa is going to present it as a humanitarian. We're there to help them out. We're there to, we have this linkage from our, shared history, right? France was enriched by its colonies, and the colonies were civilized by French presence in the region. But in reality, the French government is acting in the interests of, its in the interest as a state. In the interests of what is most prosperous for the state of France, which isn't necessarily prosperous for even the people of France, and let alone for citizens in Africa. To your question about will France ever get to that point, I would like to think that there is a forced recognition that is happening in France by French journalists, as I've mentioned, by researchers, by the children of immigrants who have come, especially from former French colonies, who are reassessing the history of France and really calling into account these narratives that France brought up, that they were a civilizing presence in Africa, that despite a few hiccups, it was a cordial relationship between African leaders and the French colonial authorities, and that there was a smooth transition to independence. Which is, frankly, it's false. Independence from France was a messy, very bloody affair, certainly so in Cameroon. That war I mentioned, the sort of clandestine war that happened in the 50s, the lowest conservative estimate that is even admitted by French government, is somewhere around 20,000. And it's certainly far, far higher. We're talking about the use of helicopters hovering over villages as pro-French militias just ran through, devastated these villages, burned it to the ground, all to pretty much stop a grassroots and indigenous anti-colonial movement. The UPC set out entirely with legal arguments. They cited the United Nations trustee status towards Southern Cameroons and towards French Cameroon, saying under Article 76B that the purpose of British and French control over these territories was to bring these colonies to a point where they could govern themselves. And France wasn't really moving towards that until it was forced to. And France still is unable, on an official level, to really acknowledge the racism, the exploitation, and the clear inequality baked into its colonial history and its present issues regarding race. So I think, yes, eventually the French state will truly engage with Africa as partners, not as a paternalistic former colonist, but it's going to take further pressures from the African diaspora, from Frenchmen who are reassessing that history and really trying to hold their government to account. Which is a great challenge because France is also dealing with its own internal political strife and resurgent nationalism and that absolutely would never thing I just said. They would still believe and argue that colonialism was good for French colonies and would portray the frustrations that you've been discussing as basically a lack of gratitude for what France provided. Again, that's the extreme fringe view of the French political right. But it is there, and they almost did win the presidency in 2017. And this question is now a year away from the next presidential election. Might they retake, just based on internal issues in France and what that might lead to foreign policy-wise towards Africa?
Now, when you're talking about the Africans eventually being able to control their system, control their economy, their political system, and their people, I'm sure you are aware of the alliance that the French signed decades ago with the African continent by the time they were, allegedly, in quote, giving African independence. The alliance, the agreement stated France will always be at the disposal of Africa in the sense that Africa would have to pay dues to the French on a yearly basis. And in exchange for that, the French would defend the France Afrique in any battles, in any wars, in any civil strife, just as the one we find in Mali today. You are seeing it also between Cameroon and Ambazonia. It would have to take undoing that alliance for the French to totally take off their hands from Africa, isn't it?
Effectively, yes. But the bigger struggle is that though the political colonialism ended, the economic colonialism did not. And what I mean by that is, and I'll jump to South Africa as an example. South Africa transitioned into a proper democracy in 1994 and formally ended apartheid. There are no longer any political limitations to anyone in South Africa, regardless of their ethnicity, their language, and their race, to run for office, to travel freely in their country, and so forth. But when they transitioned, Nelson Mandela had intentions at the time to nationalize certain industries, to redistribute some of the land to the Black South Africans who had been excluded economically under apartheid, but that never happened. So what remains now is that though there is no political apartheid, economically the situation looks about the same, and in some respects is worse than it was under apartheid, precisely because the Black South Africans do not have access to the most fertile land, the most profitable land. They do not have access to or they're not in positions of administration when it comes to the huge mining sector. And overall, this reveals that for, as you describe, Africa to sort of get rid of the heavy hand, the heavy hand of France, it is going to have to also achieve a level of economic self-sufficiency and economic sovereignty. And as it stands right now, France benefits from the lack of economic sovereignty. France benefits from the ways in which, for example, Total Gas is able to move in and extract wonderful concessions for the French energy sector that isn't so great for the peoples who live near where those facilities are. I saw a report recently that the Wouri River is heavily polluted from mining waste and is now in many parts non-drinkable for the locals there. But the Cameroonian government is not going to address this because it still maintains a great level of prosperity and wealth from the mining situation as it is. And there's no pressure from France to do anything about it because, it's still making money. Only when, the environmental situation there might deteriorate so greatly as we see, for example, the Niger Delta in neighboring Nigeria, would then France suddenly say, oh, we need to address pollution and environment. And I also just want to quickly touch on, you mentioned about the payments between the former colonies to France and the idea of protection. Right. And that, yes, in many of the independence arrangements that were established, France sort of said, you will allow us to place a military base in your territory. And that's why there remains a network of bases in the Ivory Coast, in Cameroon, in elsewhere, which is ostensibly said to protect, the state from foreign actors and such, but has really always been used to put down civil uprisings or just civil protests against the political establishment put in place following decolonization that remains allied more so to France than to the interests of the people they're allegedly governing.
Now, taking a look at Cameroon in particular vis-a-vis the French, Cameroon essentially cannot live without the French. In a situation where the people are not heartbeat to see the French leave. I mean, I've seen, look at this, you take a look at this footage here. I understand this is coming from Mali, and with the Malians essentially flocking into the street and barricading French military tankers from having anything to do with their political system, even when you have a dictator who has taken over power through a palace coup. But the people are flung on the streets, as you can see, telling the French army, we don't want you here. We don't want you here. In Cameroon, it's a little bit different situation. You have a situation where if the people in Cameroon, French Cameroon in particular, I mean, if they cannot walk into the streets like this and literally tell their leaders, we hate the French. We don't want them interfering in our system, our political system, our economy system. It just appears like the French will be there forever. I think it takes the gods of the citizenry for the French to be able to be pushed out from any of these nations. Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% correct. Movements that have genuinely yielded a level of political autonomy and economic sovereignty has almost always come from below, from the people, from usually the poorest, most excluded and disenfranchised peoples in Africa. But the challenge is that as we look at this this footage here, the reality is that the French military high command, the French presidency, they don't have to talk to these people that are in the streets. Not to dismiss the importance of the Malian people and that they are the basis of the political power in that country, but because France can maintain a cordial relationship with the government and using the pretense of security relations and so forth, it's one of those things where until France is forced to have to listen to the people, whether it's because the said people have pressured their government to listen to them, or because they've managed to put enough external international pressure, or instrumentalizing their diaspora to do it, it will take all of that to get France to a position where it will have to concede to the demands of the African peoples and not exclusively to the demands of the elites, who oftentimes maintain a cordial relationship with France and benefit from corruption and graft that, again, doesn't help the people. I just want to bring up one little fact I found. There was a report that came out in 2009 that found that between 1976 and 1999, over $10 billion in the Cameroonian oil sector just is unaccounted for. It's disappeared.
And it gets into the French treasury.
In the French treasury or into the Swiss bank accounts of Cameroonian elites, but none of it's translated to the people. And then, as I mentioned before, with the Wouri River, their environment gets damaged because there's no incentive to have protections in place because those protections are expensive. Having regulations is expensive for the foreign oil company. So it becomes this issue of the Cameroonian government structure, because so much power is invested in the presidency, and though it's technically a federal system, it really rules like a unitary one. And as we see, the ruling party in the national legislature in Cameroon pretty much acts as a rubber stamp for whatever Paul Biya wants. Though there are elections, he's held a majority extensively, to say nothing of potential corruption that occurs and how the elections are run and such. And as a result, it appears like a federal system where people have the right to vote and are ostensibly represented, but in practice, it's the Paul Biya show. And he is content with keeping things as they are, so long as it doesn't spill over into a serious conflict. And I think that's why we are starting to see attempts rather at dialogue by Biya with the Anglophones, because he's recognizing that the ongoing fight against Boko Haram in the far north, as well as the current insurgency, the conflict happening in southern Cameroons, it's not being contained. It's the longer it's left, the worse it becomes, and really also doesn't want to have to bring in the UN or other outside bodies that could put pressure on him. If he can keep this contained within Cameroon, and more so just with France, then that's best suited for him. So you're going to keep seeing these half measures to placate. There's the recent release of a few hundred political prisoners, happened a few months ago, I believe you mentioned earlier on this program, another individual released. All of this is done to try and present a conciliatory approach from the state. But in practice, again, it's half measures. It's designed to show the international community, hey, I'm Paul Biya, I'm trying here. It's these intransigent radicals who don't want to do anything,
right.
Or they're all a bunch of, just vagrants and vagabonds. And true, there have been kidnappings and assaults by non-state actors, but it's important to bear in mind that the overwhelming force and the clear power imbalance that favors the Cameroonian military should be, held to a higher account, especially when the United States and the UK and France still maintain security relations with the Cameroonian military because of their fight against Boko Haram, which then gives Paul Biya, by using the terrorism threat over there and then applying that same label to the Ambazonia situation, allows him to present it as not a people's movement or not a series of grievances from the Anglophone Cameroonians, but just simply as troublemakers, people who just simply hate the state, hate Paul, whatever it is, and that are terrorists. We have to just deal with them with a firm hand. As this conflict is dragged on and the humanitarian crisis gets worse, and there's clearly a diaspora movement that is saying, no, these grievances are legitimate. You have been excluding and downplaying the Anglophone identity and culture. There was all the all Anglophone conferences in the 90s that were entirely peaceful, that were entirely about trying to maintain Anglophone relations with Cameroon. It's important, I think, to recognize that Anglophonians haven't always necessarily advocated for secession. They have asked for simply the state to honor its obligation of being a federal state and genuinely having a fair distribution of power and the ability of the Anglophone and Francophone Cameroonians to have a say in their lives. And as these demands, these very reasonable demands, are ignored, it hardens and it forces effectively this movement to have to take on stronger and stronger reactions for the state to sincerely react and pay attention to it. And again, let's go back to the initiating cause of this current conflict. It was a peaceful demonstration by teacher and lawyer unions against French imposition over the English-speaking institutions there, which was met by violence and force, which is the state saying, we don't recognize any other language but violence. And so when the Anglophone respond in kind by fighting for their political interests with violence, Cameroon wants to have it both ways and say, oh, well, that's unfair. You're terrorists. You can't do that. And, it becomes a sort of hypocrisy that plays out. Unfortunately, it's, the civilians who are caught in the wake of it that bear the brunt of it.
I think you have done your homework there quite good enough on what is going on in Cameroon and in Ambazonia. I would just love to add that, no, Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians, they're no longer asking for federalism. We asked for it for 60 years. They interpreted it to mean separation or secession. Whereas, of course, you know as well as I do, that is not equal to what they interpreted it to mean. What Ambazonians, the Southern Cameroons, is asking for now is an independent state of their own, and it is not tantamount, it is not separation as some would love to call it, because Ambazonians and the UN records will tell you Ambazonia got independence just as much as French Cameroon got independence, 1960 for French Cameroon, 1961 for English Cameroon, respectively. However, I'd like you to take a look at this photograph, because it appears to me that the opposition that is growing against the French policy, especially in Africa, is not just being felt in Africa alone, but even in France. There is a movement that doesn't want the continuation of that policy, and I think it goes back to the point you mentioned about the people of France. Take a look, please. Here we see the French president receive a very dirty slap over there from one of his own citizens. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Again, the French president being slapped. And he's whisked away by his security. So, I know, like I mean, that is a president of France. That cannot happen in America. Of course, it cannot. I mean, what do you when your own citizens begin to slap you, when you go to shake hands with them, to fraternize with them? What do you make of that?
In that specific instance, I think the gentleman there, the French place search his home, and I think that gentleman in particular is some sort of monarchist. He shouted some sort of monarchist slogan before slapping Macron. But certainly there is growing frustrations to Macron. And I would especially say among the Black and Muslim population, among Black and Muslim Frenchmen, rhetoric that is very much Islamophobic has been sort of a mainstay of French politics since really since for a long time. But though Macron presents himself as, you know, a liberal democratic alternative to the more far right instances, political movements in France, there is still that this view, right, that the children of African immigrants into France, these Black Frenchmen, are still sort of marginalized and on the periphery of both economic and French political life. As I mentioned earlier regarding France's inability to acknowledge its colonial past, this also plays out domestically. France is unwilling in many respects to really come to task and come to terms with the legacy of race and racism, how it tied in with issues of class and xenophobia towards new immigrants, who, by the way, those immigrants were instrumental in the rebuilding of France following the Second World War. You literally would not have a rebuilt Paris without all of these thousands of immigrants that were coming in from Mali and Senegal and Guinea. And that frustration is mounting because it's becoming impossible to avoid it. There's a growing just education and awareness as people are able to interact with other folks overseas, have access to the internet. It's easier to research and to see that the official line regarding certain political issues is not the only one. And absolutely, there's tensions mounting in France that are not necessarily related to its foreign policy, but there is certainly frustrations regarding that foreign policy. People are asking, is France's involvement in the Sahel turning into its own Afghanistan, where they're there ostensibly to defeat terrorism, but what does that mean? Are they fighting formally Boko Haram, an Islamic State, or Al-Qaeda? What's the sort of determination of what a victory condition looks like? Is there an exit strategy? And as a result, French people are sort of starting to ask, okay, really, why are we there? You said it was to stop terrorism, but that doesn't seem to be fully the case. But unfortunately, the other side of this is that given France has a historical and rather recent experience with terrorism, let's recall that during the Algerian Revolution, as it escalated, there were bombings in France, some of them conducted by Algerian nationalists, the FLN, and some done by the OAS as a false flag to drum up anti-Algerian support. But nonetheless, they have suffered terrorist attacks relatively recently too, and there is a palpable fear that comes from that. And it's able to be weaponized and utilized, especially around election season. But again, the French people, and not just the Black and Muslim Frenchmen who deal with the worst of that racist history, but non-Black and white French allies that recognize this struggle and recognize that these inequalities there are going to affect everyone. If there's a huge chunk of the population that is unemployed, that is going to lead to problems that will affect others eventually. So in summary, I do think there is a growing awareness among French people about the role of their government in foreign policy, what its stated objectives are versus how it actually plays out on the ground, and demanding, more transparency about what the purpose of their foreign and domestic policy is about.
All right. You have spoken quite a little bit on Cameroon. I want to ask you a question on the situation over there between the southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, and French Cameroon. I'm sure you listened to the statement from the State Department, from the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, issuing a visa ban to some officials, unnamed officials of the Cameroon government who obstruct resolutions to the conflict that is ongoing in that country. As a journalist who has traveled wide and has studied some of these sanctions, what do you see in a visa ban from the USA to any government officials? What is in it?
I see it as an effective way of putting pressure on, in the US's eyes, dissident actors. That is referring to these Cameroonian officials that have blocked potential resolutions or at least steps towards resolving this conflict and addressing the existing and growing humanitarian crisis.
There is no hierarchy that makes some rights more important than others.
So, do you see anything? Because to us, can you hear me? I believe you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right. To many Ambazonians, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, you have been to Africa and you know how politicians see situations like this. To them, it is nothing to them because they know they can go to Switzerland. They got a lot of money stored there. They can go to France. They got a lot of money stored there. They can go to anywhere in Europe, maybe with the exception of England, but anywhere they can go to. So among us, we are saying this visa ban probably isn't enough to get those officials in Cameroon come to go to the dialogue table to look for a permanent settlement to the conflict going on there. Do you think that after a visa ban that maybe produces really nothing, that the U.S. government can go further and do something else that really lead to some practical consequences?
They certainly can. There's also freezing accounts. There are other sort of targeted sanctions that can be placed on Cameroonian officials. But as you said, it's sort of brushed off because, unfortunately, or just acknowledging the historic condition in Cameroon, it has a closer relationship with France, which means that, as you pointed out, most of the Cameroonian officials are going to have their funds and their political connections more so in France or in Switzerland. So really for the USA to put any sort of meaningful pressure would probably rely on them leaning on France, like really putting pressure on France, which is somewhat frustrating because, again, the USA has to work with France for security issues regarding terrorism. And also France is still an important trade partner and a key figure in both the NATO alliance and the European Union. So it's a question of, is the US willing to fracture that relationship with France over the people of Cameroon? And let's also remember that this is coming off of 4 years of the Donald Trump presidency, which did not do a good job of fostering and maintaining alliances between the USA and Europe. And so part of the Biden administration's task now is going to be sort of rekindling those bonds while also dealing with the resurgent populism happening in Europe, in places like Poland and Hungary. So yes, the US can go further. It has the capacity to go further and to put pressure. The USA has done it in the past. It did it with South Africa when it was under academic and other sanctions. It has done it in the past with Russia, the Magnitsky Act over Russia's treatment of journalists. But will it do so is going to be a test kind of the Biden administration and a test of their sincerity in terms of their approach towards Africa, which the Biden administration does recognize the USA has severely neglected, both in just investment, but also in political engagement. Africa has always sort of been this peripheral entity that it will engage with. The U.S. is obviously more preoccupied with Asia because of the Chinese rivalry, and with the Middle East because of the obvious military involvement, and Latin America because of our historic ties there. So it's not so much a question of can the U.S. Put pressure, it's a matter of will they put pressure, and will it be meaningful pressure?
Now, they say the way the U.S. goes is the way the U.K. goes. The way the U.K. goes is the way the U.S. goes. And then you can add Canada, you can add Australia, maybe a few other countries. Do you see the UK, the UK, Canada, Australia coming in, following the USA to say, Cameroon, if you are not ready to negotiate with Southern Cameroonians, we are also going to sanction you? And if that should be the case, do you see the French being isolated here?
Again, it's very possible, but it sort of comes down to these political calculations. Because of Brexit, the United Kingdom does not have the same level of influence that it would by being a part of the European Union, and it also means that once it's formally out of the European trade zone, it's going to need to seek out economic partnerships elsewhere. So people are thinking this is going to mean they're going to reinvest in Africa, in their former colonies. And I'm certain that will happen. But as it stands right now, you know, the political dysfunction in the UK, as well as the dysfunction in my own country, is going to be one of those things where it's going to be a challenge to really meaningfully engage on the continent. And again, back with the pressure thing, if it is not in the interest of the United Kingdom to annoy France because of either trade relations or security cooperation, whatever it might be, then it really isn't going to step up. And I think France has demonstrated an ability to go against the wishes of the United States and even the entire EU. If you just look at Libya.
Libya, right.
France still maintains
Libya, and I think, was it Iraq when the U.S. did an alliance to get in? No, I think it was, Libya in particular, yes.
Libya is the most recent, but yes, you are correct.
It wasn't
in
Libya.
Iraq.
When George Bush was launching was it Afghanistan or?
No, it was the Iraq War.
Iraq War, yes.
The Afghanistan War in 2001 had international support, that there was no sort of real abstention from that. In 2003, when the USA unilaterally invaded Iraq, France had previously warned prior to the launching of the invasion, don't do this, it's not going to be a good idea. And then the USA, I remember as a little kid at the time, we had the freedom fries debacle. Restaurants started calling them
they revolted
French fries.
against the French fries and launched the freedom fries.
Yeah.
All right, please, before I let you go, ladies and gentlemen, please, we are getting back to this topic on the U.S. visa ban to Cameroonian officials. Barrister John Fru will be here with Dr. Martin Mungwa. They will all be here, and I'm going to be bringing to you my talking point on that subject once Iron is gone. But Iron, let's talk one more thing. I know time is not on our side here. The Chinese are coming to Africa. The Chinese are about owning Africa, from Southern Africa to the east, to the north, to the west. The Chinese are everywhere, and it isn't fair trade as they would want everybody to believe. The Chinese get to everywhere and they take over the economy. They come, they start building roads, they start building schools, they start building hospitals with the people's money. They want you to believe they are giving you a loan, or they are giving you some free money. Then they turn around, get the contracts. Guess who they employ? They employ the Chinese. The local people are never employed. So if they are constructing roads, the employees are the Chinese. If they are harvesting timber, the employee are the Chinese. They are building schools or hospitals, the employees are the Chinese. This is a new kind of colonialism that we didn't see in the 18th, 19th, 20th century.
I would push back a little bit on the claim you just made about how they hire Chinese workers. Certainly, this has happened. There is recently a study that was done, or rather, research report that shows in Ethiopia, for example, some of the mines that the Chinese have built there, they have as these sort of foremen, the administrators. Yes, they're Chinese, but they are employing local Ethiopians. What I would sort of I wouldn't say China is coming into Africa trying to be the new owners of it. I think that's the distinction between what people are referring to as Chinese colonialism versus the European colonialism. Let's be very clear here that European colonialism came to Africa and was a massive rupture in the development of the continent. It came in there to assert the principal goal was to expand the imperial economic and political influence of Great Britain, France, Germany, Italy, all the countries that colonized Africa, and sought to do this by disrupting existing traditional and cultural relations, co-opting, tribal chiefdoms, forced missionary work. The development infrastructure was for the expediency of the colonialist economy. That was, again, all about extraction. The Chinese coming to Africa now, they have no intentions necessarily of enforcing their specific Chinese culture and government on Africa. They're content simply to work with existing states as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. What China is simply doing is building that Belt and Road. They are coming in and providing these loans and engaging with these African states because they recognize that if Kenya and Somalia have port facilities that can handle increasing trade, if the growing middle class in the Horn of Africa can go to Guangzhou and buy shipping containers full of manufactured goods and bring it back home and sell it and become entrepreneurs themselves, then there's a mutual benefit with it. Now, obviously, I'm not saying China's acting out of altruism. China's acting in the interest of China. But what's distinct here is that China is not trying to be a sort of there's no pretension about trying to civilize Africa or trying to guide it towards anything, which then becomes one of the issues that people point out, that when China rewards bad actors by establishing these infrastructure deals with dictators, with military juntas, because China says we are not here to engage in the domestic policies of these countries, we're simply here to make trade deals. You still are, though, because when you make these deals, you entrench the wealth and by extension the political power of these bad actors. China's uninterested in sort of tying humanitarian issues to its infrastructure projects. But let's also not pretend that the Western governments don't do this too. Canada has been dealt with a recent lawsuit from Eritrean nationals who argued that Canadian mining firm in Eritrea basically knew that the government was using slave labor of Eritreans, but didn't really care. What is going to be a challenge, of course, is, yes, how Africa handles the sovereign debt issue, and whether or not, the blitz that China has done as far as the infrastructure investment will maintain. There was a recent study that found that investment has dropped from prior years, but China still remains the principal investor for African infrastructure. And the fact of the matter is that, African states are going to act in the interests of themselves. And right now, China is offering the cheapest, most cost-effective way of getting vital infrastructure to address issues of energy, lack of energy in certain areas, issues of transportation, port facilities, and so on, that the Western governments haven't done. Or they did it through structural adjustment programs in the 90s that imposed austerity, gutted welfare programs and services of the state, privatized everything. And so the Africans looked at that and said, okay, so the Chinese are coming here, and yeah, some of the mines are run by the Chinese, and maybe there's tensions between, cultural tensions and some existing racism, but, they're following through on their word. They've built the mine. They've built these things. There is a growing industry that comes out of that. So I'm more just against viewing China as the next colonizer obviously be wary of any state coming into Africa because, again, states act in their own best interests, which doesn't necessarily mean the best interests of the people that live under the governments they're engaging with. And to just recognize that there are benefits that come from this. And it's more so China picking up the slack of Europe and the United States that have consistently neglected investment in Africa, just viewing it as a foreign policy afterthoughts. And even France, despite trying to maintain and has an incentive to have more investment in Africa, has also still failed in many respects to follow through on really providing for these various needs that infrastructure, for example, would address.
All right. And thank you for being with me today. I guess we're going to find some more time to talk on some of these things. I'm going to be having you here, if possible, on a little more regular basis so we can analyze some of these issues. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you for having me, and appreciate your questions.
All right. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ayn Wendro. Ayn Wendro is an international reporter. He was joining me from Washington, D.C., where he lives. At this moment, I am going to take you into the subject of the day, the main subject of the day that has to do with the U.S. visa ban on Cameroon officials, of course. I will bring you my monologue, and after I bring you the monologue, I will be joined with Barrister John Fruinso and Dr. Martin Mungwa. Dr. Martin Mungwa, they are all on set with me, ladies and gentlemen. Again, before I bring them in, I'd like to bring to you my talking point on this subject. The subject of the USA banning Cameroon government officials from coming to the USA, talking about suspending their visas. Fellow Ambazonians, the announcement by the U.S. State Department that the Biden administration will impose visa restrictions on individuals in La République du Cameroon responsible for the genocide in Ambazonia is long overdue. However, better late than never. Hopefully, this travel ban will serve as another wake-up call to the Yaoundé regime that has a history of downplaying U.S. sanctions only to suffer the consequences later. If you can recall, the Yaoundé regime downplayed the backlash when the U.S. cut off military aid because instead of using such aid to fight Boko Haram as intended, the regime was using it to fund the genocidal war in Ambazonia. What happened after that? Boko Haram fighters gained the upper hand. And ever since then, they simply stroll across the border from Nigeria into localities in their extreme north region, inflict tremendous carnage, and stroll back into their camps in Nigeria. Another case was when the U.S. removed La République du Cameroun from the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA. This is the U.S. law designed to assist and improve the economies of sub-Saharan African countries. Ever since then, what has happened to the economy of La République du Cameroon? It has been collapsing. It has been collapsing gradually by the day. So, the visa ban must be taken very seriously because it may have far-reaching implications. Consider the following. Number one, the U.S. did not need permission from the United Nations or collaboration with any other countries such as Britain and France in order to implement the ban. This is a challenge to Britain, France, and the United Nations because their conspiracy as far back as 1961 laid the grounding for the carnage happening in Amazonia today. This is a warning to France that, despite its unconditional support to La République du Cameroun, such support cannot withstand the weight of U.S. sanctions. Number two, an obscured implication of this visa ban by the Biden administration is that there is a limit to which lobby firms in the USA can keep lying to stakeholders to protect the interests of their authoritarian clients in Africa. La République du Cameroun has two heavily paid lobby firms in the USA, one in New York, where it collaborates with La République du Cameroun's mission at the United Nations to spread lies to the UN, and the other one in Washington, D.C., where it collaborates with their embassy to lobby United States Congress and the executive branch. They were very successful during the Trump administration. Not now. Number three, when the United States imposes sanctions on individuals or even countries, they are more impactful and the culprits carry an international stigma. Members of the ruling cabal in Yaoundé, whose names will feature on this travel ban, will forever be viewed as those who aided and abetted genocide. In fact, it is a devastating form of international shaming when the U.S. sanctions individuals. They are ostracized in the international community. Number three, those who follow United States foreign policy in terms of sanctions placed on individuals know that what may follow is a freeze on assets. So, members of the Yaoundé regime who have assets in the United States and whose names are on this list should be worried, very, very worried. Some of them who wanted to fly to the United States for medical treatment will now think about going somewhere else. Some of them cannot go to France because the Brigade Anti-Sardinage, they are waiting for them there too. The United States government will not have difficulties locating those who are responsible for the genocidal war in Amazonia. Video footages are there, beginning with when, on November 30th, 2017, Paul Biya stood at the airport and declared war. The two colonial governors, Leleur Lafrique in Bamenda and Bernard Okalie in Bamenda, they are in the books. They are on tape. You have the generals who have operated in Amazonia, native Amazonians who now reside in La République du Cameroun like Paul Atanganji, Paul Tasson, Dion Ngute and the rest, who frequent Equinox, all those who frequent Equinox television to sing praises to Paul Biya genocidal war. They will not escape this. People such as Elvis Ngole, Dr. Nick Ngwanyam, Atanga Nji, Gerard Ngala, of course, John Ngute, Paul Tasum, Atanga Nji, and you can name the rest. They are there. They shall be sanctioned not only by the U.S., but by Amazonians. When the time comes, and it's actually going to be here really, really soon. And that was my talking point, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I am joined by Barrister John Fru Insop, joining me all the way from the the state of Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, not the state, District of Columbia, and also joined by Dr. Martin Mungwa, joining me from the great state, Empire State of New York. Barrister John, pleasure seeing you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris. I am joining you from Maryland, not Washington, D.C.
Oh, you are joining me from the very liberal state of Maryland. My error, sir. All right, good to see you. Dr. Martin, again, it's a pleasure you joining me for the first time from the Empire State in New York, sir.
Thank you, Chris. I'm happy to be here.
All right, thank you. We've got so much to talk about, and I will start with Barrister John. Barrister John, you read the statement coming from U.S. State Department, precisely from the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, declaring visa suspension or sanctions for Cameroonian officials. He used the word hindering, who have been hindering a peaceful resolution to the armed conflict in that part of the world. Please give us your interpretation of that statement. What do you see in that statement, sir? Barrister John.
Thank you, Chris. You remember sometime at the beginning of the year, Resolution 684 was signed into law from the Senate of the United States. And that, if you read a closer reading of that resolution, somewhere it says there will be consequences if the parties don't get to the negotiating table. Chris, this is now a policy emanating from that resolution. I want to tell you that the United States foreign policy does not just change overnight just because there's a new change in the presidency. In your monologue, you said Trump, in the Trump era was not so good, but at least the Senate was able to pass a very far-reaching resolution 684. And in application of that resolution 684, the United States has come out with visa restriction, that is the word. You can also call it ban. I don't know whether the two words are interchangeable. But what that means is that the consequences mentioned in that resolution are beginning to take place. And I want to add, Chris, that even though we don't have a list, the United States has a list of those concerned. You know, sometime in December, we, the lawyers of Ambazonia, filed a criminal complaint at the ICC. And we shortlisted 93 accused persons in La Republique du Cameroon, which included political personalities, military personalities, and administration personalities. A number of 93. I would argue with you now that at least I don't know what list the United States have because they have not released that. They know what they are doing. Most of those people who are going to be shortlisted for this visa restriction are on that list already, and the criminal complaint is at the ICC as we speak. What I read in that policy that has just been issued by Tony Blinken is that this policy is primarily aimed at those people who are obstructing the peaceful resolution of the war between the Federal Republic of Ambazonia and La Republique du Cameroon. It is on record that the Federal Republic of Ambazonia has been waiting for La Republique du Cameroon on the negotiating table in Switzerland for the best part of 2 years, and they have never shown up. Anybody who aided and abetted in the commission of genocide in Ambazonia, who has been working tirelessly not to come to the table because they know that they don't have a case. Any of those people are going to be answerable to the United States. I also heard you talk about when you were talking to Anne, that they can go to France and so on and so forth. Let me tell you. And Brigade Anti-Sardinal is waiting for them in France.
Barrister John, let me hold you on there. Let me get to Dr. Mungwa here and get his own take, his own interpretation of this visa suspension for officials of French Cameroon. Dr. Mungwa, come in there, please.
Okay, thank you, Chris, and I'm very honored to be here with Barrister John Fru. I know he's a barrister and has his legal background with him, and he's actually practiced for so many years. So he understands some of these issues probably more than I do. The reason why I'm here is to look at it from a different perspective. I think starting from Senate Resolution 684, when was it actually put into place? On the 1st of January, 2021. And between the 1st of January and today, 6 months. The question you ask yourself, what happened? Why didn't they just started enacting this resolution the day after? There's a reason for that. As a good carpenter, you measure 10 times and you cut once. So between January and today, they've been doing their homework. You have to understand the amount of intelligence that it takes to gather all the information. And before I go further, people have been talking about, oh, how many people are there? It is more likely to have only two answers. One, it can be that they don't want to tell you the people who are involved, because it will definitely tell you those who think they're not part of it. But the other reason may be even more sinister. It may be just too many that you can't even count. It may be a lot. So why do I say that? Look into the mechanisms they will probably use in order to get information on these individuals. You have satellite information. We all knew that America was running a satellite in Ambazonia during the conflict. And when they say satellite, it doesn't just take pictures, but it captures also the radio information. It captures telephone, cell phone messaging, and all sorts of things. People don't know the power of satellites. So what have they been doing with all that piece of information? Somebody has to sit down and bring it to a granular level to know exactly who is involved, who is saying what. So when people go around and say, oh, the Amber fighters, they were going and killing villages, there must have been some communication between whoever gave them the orders. Who knows? All that information must have been picked up. And then coming to other areas of intervention, even the internet. American intelligence has access to the backdoor of the internet. I have been in a situation where a company was asked not to shut down their computers, and within a week they were able to extract information that actually identified culprits that committed crimes, and they were all sent to jail. Some of them were actually fired, and they did that without even stepping into their offices. How did they do that? So we should be asking ourselves these questions. What means do they have to identify the culprits? They have enormous means. What does it take to access some of these pieces of technology and extract information?
All right, Barrister John, thank you. Barrister John, let me now get back to you. Who do you see among these so-called elite and French Cameroon politicians, both those who call themselves Anglophones and those who call themselves French Cameroon citizens? Who do you see featuring in that list?
I cannot give you. I cannot give you.
If you use your own discernment.
Chris, hold it there. Hold it there. I can only tell you that if you take a closer look at the criminal complaint that we filed, you will have a pretty good idea who is on that list. There is a list. The U.S. has not just published a list. But for purposes of applicability, they must have a list, and therefore they must inform their consulates and their embassies around the world of those people that they are not supposed to receive visas to come to the United States. So there is a list which they have not released. And I'm not here to second guess the United States government by telling you that this person is on the list or that person is on the list. Oh no. But I know for sure that there are political, military, and administrative officials of La République du Cameroon who have been blocking off the Swiss initiative, and also have been committing genocide in the war in Ambazonia. I overheard John Okoro talking about that some people in Ambazonia are involved. Let me say this to John Okoro. This war is being fought in the territory of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And Ambazonia has not crossed 1 inch into La République du Cameroon. So Ambazonia is actually fighting a self-defense war. And therefore, Ambazonia were the ones who introduced, who initiated and are crying for the Swiss negotiation. We have been on that table. Our people have been there in an organization called ACT, the Ambazonian Coalition Team. They have been attending meetings and capacity building seminars, waiting for La République to come to that table. And La République has been bluffing for the last 2 years.
But, Barrister John, I will stop you a little bit there, and I will ask you this. I will ask this question to both of you out there. Yes. When you say maybe John Okoro is correct, when you have people who claim Ambazonian leadership like Cho Ayaba going on public and telling people you will cut people's heads, and he is actually on record as instructing his boys to kill people, and we also know they are abducting people and taking ransom from people on the ground. Don't you think that such people may be part of this visa ban issue?
But, okay. That is if you consider those people Ambazonians, because Ayabacho is a proxy fighter for La République du Cameroon. I don't think
that depends if the international community really knows that and believes that.
Oh yes. Like my friend Dr. Mongwa has just said, the satellite imageries are there. Everything is there. Don't think that anything that happens, the international community does not know. I wasn't referring to people, to rock elements like Ayabacho who belong to La République du Cameroon. They are in association with La République du Cameroon to fight Ambazonia. Ayabacho has not fought any war against La République du Cameroon as far as I know. From the beginning, they killed 2 officials of La République du Cameroon unjustly. That is a sous-prefect in Batabo and an administrative officer from Bamenda. Since then, they have turned around and they are now proxy fighters for La République du Cameroon, and they are killing our people. So I will not be surprised if Ayabacho is on that list, but I will not consider him for the purpose of the applicability of this policy as an Ambazonian.
Okay, listen, I think let's be very clear here. Let us not judge people from the court of social media. If America has to impose a ban on people, it is quite possible that the France and the UK and other countries can actually abide by that ban. If only they provide the evidence to a judge that will say, yes, this is enough evidence for us to believe that these people deserve that ban. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, you have a lot of people already say, Amba fighters are this and that. I mean, they must have evidence. It is not from circumstantial evidence that people will start judgment. And the fact that the U.S. Secretary of State went on air and made that statement means that they have the evidence. They have the evidence that is irrefutable, that can be used in the court of law. Remember, these are law-abiding countries. So, and it doesn't even matter whether it's France or not. If France is a law-abiding country and they provide that evidence to them, they should be able to act on it. And I also like to say this. I would also like to say this. The EU, the UK, France, they made statements about the war in Amazonia. Nothing moved. But America came at this point. And why do you think, who is going to stand in front of America and say, what you are doing, we are not going to follow? Who has that power to do that? I don't see anybody having that power to do that. They took all the time. They gave La Republique all the time to make amends. 4 years, they kept telling them, please sit down and talk about this problem. But what did La Republique do? They simply stuck their heads in sand. And on the 1st of January 2021, they gave them the roadmap. Still, they never thought it was important. 6 months down the line, this is where we are today. So it's been very systematic from the beginning. It's not something that just fell from the sky. We saw it coming, they saw it coming, they simply just ignored it.
So the question right now is, many people, especially on ground zero, will be asking, what does this really mean? Visa suspension, we'll call it visa banning, whatever terminology that is given. What does it mean? Can you explain it to the understanding of every lay person out there, please, Dr. Mungwa?
Okay. I think we've answered this in various forms, so I think it's better to put everything together. Visa banning, freezing accounts, freezing movements, it's a big deal. How can the government function if its civil servants can't travel? How are they going to initiate international, how can they negotiate any sort of international business? There is no government that is going to progress without having its top military or top political advisors travel all over the world. You are simply being put in a quarantine in a way. Who wants to be quarantined in a country and expect to survive? It is that simple. It sounds very simple, but it is at the crux of the matter. It is very important and it's extremely damaging. Which also means that, what about the economic rating of Cameroon? If one foreign country wants to do business with you, how is it going to do business with you? When your own people cannot travel, what is the risk profile of your country when people cannot travel? It is extremely high, which means that the cost of doing business in La Republique is going to go through the roof, because people will tell you they don't even want their people to travel. How can we negotiate? How can we do business? Who is going to go into such a country to do business when they've been banned from traveling? You tell me. So it sounds a little bit immature, but it actually runs deep into the economic survival of La Republique.
Barrister John, please, your take on this.
Yes,
Who is
Chris,
really, what does it really mean?
Chris, this visa restriction is not only applicable to the people on that list, it includes their families. And secondly, for those of us who have studied American politics and American law up to this our age, we know that visa restrictions are just a shot in the arm, and before you know it, there will be freezing of assets. There will be freezing of assets of the individuals concerned. If you have any house in the United States, or you have any bank accounts in the United States, right now, you better be careful, because in the next in a very short time you will hear of asset freeze. And secondly, a lot of these so-called barons in Yaoundé have children studying in the United States. The consequences are going to fall on those their children. One, they will not be able to survive without money, because their accounts will be frozen. And two, they may even withdraw their student visas and ask them to return. You see, because if you cannot pay your school fees, or you cannot meet up with the obligations of the university in which you are studying, being a son of a baron from Yaoundé, you have no business staying in the United States. So the implication is very, very serious for those Cameroonians who are on that list. Those of them who think that they can live above the law, they can live, they don't care about what the world says. Because for 2 years now, they have buried their head in the sand. They don't want to listen to the Swiss initiative. The Swiss have done everything. They keep playing the Swiss as some kind of chess. And this is where we are today. Cameroonians should know that this is a very serious policy decision by the United States government, and it's going to follow through.
What is even ironic, let me just say this, Chris. Right. What is even ironic is that before this struggle started, Biya was probably aware of the consequences. What did he do? He took his daughter out of the United States, sold his property in the United States, and made sure they had nothing to do with the United States. So he possibly knew the potential outcome of this. That's why I'm so surprised that everybody thinking, oh, something, this axe has fallen and nobody knew it was coming. It's just pure ignorance and lack of awareness of international policy, especially as far as America is concerned. The moment they put their foot on the ground, nobody's going to prevent them, because it is not done by an individual. It's done by Congress. Okay? So it doesn't even matter if Biden is not there. Before Trump left, he put this thing into motion because he understood what was going to happen ultimately.
Right. No.
And let me also clarify something, Chris. Now that the U.S. has taken the lead, don't be surprised the European Union follows.
And that is exactly the point I was getting to. How does this impact other powers who are interested in this case? I'm talking about the British, the Canadians, the Australians. How do you see this affecting the way they go about this case?
Yes, it's a pure legal issue. If the Americans
let Barrister John finish, Dr. Mungo, then you come in.
Yes, Chris, I want to let you know that whatever is decided in Washington, London follows suit. It's either whatever is decided in London, the United States follows suit. They are very close allies. The British and the US are close allies. And now the British have left the European Union, but there are countries in the European Union who are allies of the United States, and they will follow suit. There is Australia, and our beautiful mama there in Australia has already given the first shot, and Australia now is already aware of what is happening in Amazonia. And I'm telling you that Australia will follow suit, and Canada will follow suit with what the United States is doing. La Republique can take this to the bank for all I care. They have tried to water down AGOA. They have tried to water down the military aid withdrawal. Now I want to see how they will water down this visa restriction, because after this, it's
you're going to hear them tell you who cares about the U.S. Damn the U.S. Watch them on their television sets on Sunday at the weekend. Hear what they say.
But they forget to know that the banking system is interrelated. Even in Paris, if the U.S. bans freezes your account in the United States, and that bank happens to be a subsidiary in France where you have account, don't be sure that account is also be frozen, whether it is in France or anywhere else in Europe. So they should be very careful. Look, La République du Cameroon can no longer travel easily to Europe because of Brigade Anti-Sardina. Secondly, now it is this visa ban and eventually asset freeze. What are they going to do? They will fly to the moon? I don't know.
Dr. Mungo, please.
Right. Let me just take us a little bit back. What I'm so surprised about these talking heads on CRTV. Several years ago, when somebody embezzled money from the pension fund, these were the same guys who came on television begging Americans to help them. The same guys said, look, there's so much fraud in our country. Of course, why would America care? That's an internal issue. But they thought whenever it happens to them, everybody else has to come and help them. But when it's something of international measure, no, they are not interested because it is not in their best interest. You can't eat your cake and have it. But putting that aside, if it's a legal issue, I mean, one of the tenets of Western culture is freedom, and they need to see facts before people are convicted and so on. In that case, it doesn't really matter to me. If the Americans have the evidence to show to the French, to show to the British, to show to the Belgians, these are all people whose societies are upheld by the rule of law. Why would they say, no, we are not going to do it simply because we are French speaking, or simply because we don't care? It's not going to work that way. You take it to Australia, they see the van, oh my goodness, this is what these people are committing as crime. Our society, these are not our values. They're just trying to tell them that people are doing things that are against human values. Why would you go against that? If France goes against that, then therefore France should be considered another third world country, which I think is actually morally is actually moving into the third world, because they never see fact and act on it. It's all about their emotions and what they want.
So, if I may take it to another angle here. This U.S. statement is meant to force La République du Cameroon to come to the negotiation table in this conflict. How do you see this affecting their resolve to finally get to the negotiation table, Barrister John?
Yes, Chris, we have intelligence that they have been calling the mediator, the Swiss mediator, on a daily basis. They are not
knocking that a lot, right?
Yes, they are not knocking on the table, and this visa ban has come and added fuel to the whole process. I wouldn't be surprised if between now and September we are on that table.
Well, that would be good. That would be good.
That's what I'm reading. But if they want to collectively commit suicide, that doesn't concern us. First of all, they are totally bankrupt right now as we speak, Chris. And I want to see them continue this war with us, because we are ready and willing to go as far as we can. We are drafting, and we will draft and the war will continue.
And I will add more firepower.
We'll add more firepower.
That is the secret. That is the secret. Dr. Mungwa, please.
Yes, I mean, I think this is where we all arrive at the same conclusion, that we have to decide our future. Nobody will decide the future of Ambazonia. I think people have attempted in the past, and after 60 years, we've come to realize that the future of Ambazonians is in the hands of Ambazonians. It doesn't matter how much it takes. We have to get to the end of this and to make sure that we get what our people want. They have sacrificed enough. In fact, it will be not only an embarrassment, but a sellout if somewhere we capitulate and go in with whatever somebody else is proposing. We have to look at every detail, look at every letter, every line, every T, cross it, or every I dot it, make sure that this is what we really want. This is not something that we want to do again, because it probably take us 180 years, not 60.
Chris, we have already lost 18,000 people, and we cannot capitulate in any way possible. We have to take it to the logical end and restore the independence of our people, the sovereignty of our people, and let our people enjoy the land that God gave them.
Somebody asked me yesterday, I think you listened to that report interview with the VOA. You people don't see eye to eye with La République du Cameroon. We are all fighting. La République doesn't want, you want independence, and La République doesn't want you to talk about independence. How do you get to the conference table? And I said, well, let's go with the root causes first. let's go with the root, at least root causes. I think we all agree on root causes, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So why don't we get to the conference and start with the root causes, and then we'll see where it leads us? Is that not the way to go? But it's a John Vic. I'm saying this and bringing this up.
The root causes will be a preamble for negotiation. But
right, I'm bringing this up though because we have heard insinuations out there that La République du Cameroon is saying we should give them some confidence measures, call off the ghost towns, do this, do that. We don't know who to talk to, we don't know who to negotiate with, and so on. What do you see going forward? Do you see them still making these excuses? After all, the principle, the guideline says talks without preconditions.
Listen, Chris, my sources inside there tell me that they know everything about Dr. Sako and the interim government. They know that those are the people who control the ground. Those are the people who manage, who control, who are governing Ambazonia. They know. But since they don't have a strong case for the root causes, they have been reticent and they have been discouraged by the French not to come to that table, because when they come to that table, they will lose. The French have been telling them, you don't have a case. If you go to that table in Switzerland, you are going to lose. But now it has gotten to a point where they have no choice. Look at, the economy is collapsing. The treasury is completely empty. I have a cousin who said that instead of a salary of 140-something thousand, he got 20,000 in his account. Just to show you that things are not moving. They have no choice. We are waiting for them. We have been waiting for 2 years. We will continue to wait for them, but we will continue with firepower, and we are going to that table from a position of strength. La République has no lesson to teach us. They cannot tell us to give them confidence building measures. Who is supposed to give who confidence building measures? You declared war on the people, a people that you consider at that time you consider were part of your country. You declared war on them, and now you are wanting them to give you confidence building measures? For what? Who is supposed to give who confidence building measures? It's you, La République. It's you who has the military arsenal. It's you who has what you call a well-trained military. And we have never thought, we don't have a military. We are just fighting to defend our territory and our people.
Dr.
You have slaughtered 18,000 of them, and we cannot allow it to continue. Therefore, we will increase firepower on the ground. We will stay fighting until you come to the table. If you come to the table and don't want to negotiate ceasefire, we are ready for negotiation of ceasefire, provided the conditions are implemented. A ceasefire that must be controlled by some third party, a ceasefire that must be regulated by some third party. You will have to negotiate that on the table. Until then, even while we are on the table, the war will continue if you so desire. Or you pack and leave our territory, and then we negotiate terms of separation. That is the way it is.
Yeah. From all the statistics we've been gathering, La République's fortune started changing towards the end of December last year, when we opted, based on the research that Ambazonian Supreme Military did over the previous year or so. And they came to the realization that you cannot be using the same weapons to attack a well-formed and sort of standard military structure. You needed an equalizer.
Yes.
And in January 2021, we had that equalizer. And that's what made the change on the ground. And you can see that the superior weapons that we brought into play actually brought a turn in La République's fortunes. It is very clear now, based on what we have, that La République cannot survive with the way things are going. And coming to the table is probably the only measure that they have.
Coming to the table. What do they bring to the table? We all know they are avoiding the table because of the word independence. Independence. What are they coming to the table this time to argue about or to offer?
Look, they will fly, they will crawl, they can go on their knees, they can headstand, but all we want them is to be at the table. Why do I even have to care what they have to bring on the table? It's none of my business. If they want to stay there and sink in deprivation and poverty, disease and hunger, it is all left to them. But I think it is time that La Republique public has to start to hold their governments accountable. You can't just, the government is taking the people hostage in a way. The sooner they get to the table to resolve this matter so that the economic activities can start normally, so that the risk ranking can go low, so that investors will find it, important for them or profitable for them to invest in La Republique and Ambazonia, the better it is for the entire sub-region. So this idea about, how are they going to come to, I care less about that. They can come in a ship. I don't care. They can come in a plane, a jet plane. They can crawl. They can come on a boat. It doesn't matter. Well, they have to find their way to that table. I'm sure that if they're looking for directions, we can give them a GPS and they'll get there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we got it out there. Barrister John, please, yes.
Chris, you must know that we are talking about the government of La Republique du Cameroon. But we are also saying that there are war criminals among those people who manage Cameroon. So even if we finish negotiating on the table, those people who are war criminals will have to answer to the International Criminal Court. That I can assure you is going to happen. After every war, we'll have a lot of war criminals, and they will all answer.
So again, my question was, Barrister John, they have been resisting coming to the table because of the fear of one word, independence.
Yes. Look, Chris, independence, we had independence. The question of sovereignty, we want our sovereignty restored as every other country that has an independence. We did not enter this union as part of La Republique du Cameroon. We entered as a separate entity with equal status. And that La Republique knows, that La Republique is afraid to face us on that table because of that. And let me tell you, the United Nations, France and Britain played a very nasty game of decolonizing Southern Cameroon. This question of joining the United States during the vote of that resolution abstained. But when it came to our independence, the United States voted for our independence in Resolution 1608. So whether they like it or not, it is a foregone conclusion. We are not going to be asking for independence for no country gets independent twice. All we want is our restored sovereignty and independence, which we had on the 21st of April 1961. So whether they like it or not, they will get to the table. If they don't get to the table, we will chase them out of our territory and build the biggest wall from Mongo right up to Matazem, right up to Sabongari, and let me see how.
Chris, I think the other part of your question, you're probably waiting to get into that, is the mechanism of actually coming to the table. It's not as if we get to the table today, then tomorrow Southern Cameroons will be independent and will go away. Of course, it's not going to happen that way.
Well,
we know for practical reasons.
But at least we know the process is on.
And yes, so we have to understand, I think Ambazonians have to understand this. Even if you are going for a divorce, there's always a process to find out what you have, who is going to take 50%, who is going to take the kids, and who owns the house, and so on. This is the same thing, at least in a much bigger scale. So obviously there's going to be a transition period. And what is important is to define what happens during that transition period. And it can actually be a catch-22 because that's why we really have to keep our eyes open. This shouldn't be a situation where La Republique will even take advantage of us after that period. It has to be looked into by professionals, knowing exactly what the outcome would be. And it may take 5 years, even more, all depending on the circumstances that we find. So Ambazonians have to understand that even we have to have independence, it's not like at the end of this year we are going to have independence. They have to put into place some structure, some mechanism. And above all, the public must be educated to the last sentence or whatever. They should know what is happening. It is not something that a few people will sit on high tables and say, okay, we have a plan, and just say we have a plan. It must be communicated. And that's where our communication departments may even have to expand to include some of the local dialects or pidgin English or something of that nature. So people actually understand, because their future will depend on the information that we give them. And we will prepare our future based on that information. So, I think that's what you really wanted us to talk about.
Let me disagree a little bit with Dr. Mungwa. When we get to that table and the results of that table have become palpable, what we are talking about is terms of separation. In every conflict, there are mechanisms put together to control the terms of the agreement. And I'm telling you that we are not negotiating independence. We are negotiating terms of separation. How do we separate? How do we separate from La République du Cameroun after 60 years? They have destroyed so many of our infrastructure. They have done so much harm on us, and we receive electricity from them. They destroyed power camps so that we can be dependent upon them. So those are the things, those are the issues that will be sorted out. And at that time, there must be a period of putting together the structure of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia on the ground. And that should start from the day that these negotiations end and the results are known. And we're not going to wait 5 years to have our government. No, on the ground. We're not going to wait 5 years.
No, I didn't say that. Yeah.
The reconstruction of Ambazonia. But as soon as it is negotiated and the papers are signed, the implementation takes effect from that day, and the people that will be appointed by the United Nations to follow the process will start working on that day, and the state of Ambazonia is born from that day.
Thanks for the clarity. First condition on that table, part of Douala must be given to Ambazonia.
I don't agree with that.
Of course,
I don't agree with that. And
no part of Ambazonia of Douala will be claimed for Ambazonia because we are not fighting for Douala.
No,
the boundaries were frozen at independence, Chris.
Right.
No, we don't need Douala.
No. Absolutely. But let me ask you guys before I open the phone lines. What do you think the French policymakers are thinking now, seeing American bringing on these sanctions? Because they know that the sanctions are coming. I mean, the travel ban is coming. They are like, what will be next, isn't it?
Some of them are resigning themselves because they know that the outcome is not going to be positive. And I'll give you examples, just like what is happening in Central Africa after the Russians came in. The cooperants, they took a one-way flight to Paris. The same thing happened in Mali. They will just resign. I mean, I had part of my education.
Who will resign? I'm talking about the French. You mean the French will just resign?
They will have to resign themselves from. What are they going to do? You have to back up whatever you want with enforcement. If you don't have the enforcement capability, how are you going to do it? And let me bring you to one point here, which in La République, they don't seem to understand. They believe that administrative controls is all you need. And that's why you have this, you call them ice cream guys, or you call them SDOs, guys with these ice cream color cards going around and giving administrative orders. Do this, do this. They do not have the mechanism to enforcement. A government is only effective if you have the means to enforce your policy. They go around giving administrative controls. They cannot do anything else. They just say something. And if people don't obey, what happens? Nothing happens. And the same thing will happen in the case of France. Well, they don't have the means to enforce it. So they just have to resign themselves to whatever happens to them. And it's been happening in Central Africa and elsewhere. What do you expect them to do?
Chris, let me attempt an answer.
Okay.
After the First World War, France acquired territory in Africa, and they kept that territory until when the United Nations asked that colonial powers give independence to the territory they control. Now, France lost the Second World War and the First World War, and they were propped up by the United States to survive to be what they are. And now, in order for them to build an empire where they can become a powerful Western world, they turn to Africa and colonize the economies of Africa by signing what they call Accord de Coopération in almost every of the 15 African countries that they control. And they were making all the money from all their money from Africa in order to maintain the status as a first world country. That empire is collapsing bit by bit, Chris. It collapsed in Central Africa, as Dr. Mongwa said. It's collapsed in Mali, and it's collapsing in Chad. And why not? It will collapse in Cameroon. It will collapse in Cameroon. Because after Ambazonia leaves Cameroon, don't be surprised Cameroon disintegrates. Because the political situation in Cameroon is not that good. So my take is that France will just have to walk away and cut its losses because their empire is collapsing. The empire that they have in Africa is collapsing. Africans are becoming well informed, and I want to tell you that the African diaspora is playing a major role in getting France out of Africa. I have a friend here who's from Mali, who's a Tuareg, and he's swearing that the French cannot stay in their country. And well, the French are leaving Mali. So, and look at what happened in Senegal. The youths went on the street, attacking all French businesses in Dakar and other places.
Those are the youths blocking the French tanks on the street, not afraid of French tanks.
Yes, the French empire in Africa is gradually eroding. And I tell you, Cameroonians should know that they are at risk if they don't act right now and get hold of their own sovereignty. I'm talking about La Republique of Cameroon citizens. Because every one of them is sitting there and saying, on va faire comment? On va faire comment? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Your treasury is empty. Everything is empty. And we intend to take out those risks that you are benefiting from. Ambazonia will take out those risks, whether they like it or not, unless they come to the table before we take them out. If not, in the very near future, those risks will go. And I will see how they will get the money that they are getting from oil, from drilling crude oil from our territory.
Dr. Mungwa, let me get a word from you before I open the phone lines and we take some calls from out there.
Right. I mean, just sort of a summary. I mean, what has happened to France is not new. We know that Spain was the country that started navigating the world, and they colonized a lot of these countries. But what happened? Again, a similar attitude like France got them kicked out of the world stage. They were beaten in the Caribbean, they were beaten in North America, they were beaten all over the place. And now Spain is a tiny little country sitting somewhere in Europe. They have no influence on the international scene because of the civil law the status they have. It's whenever people don't have fairness and freedom, one day they'll have to fight for it. It is that simple. And that's another Latin country that lost the entire world. And now people don't even talk about Spain unless in textbooks. And now they're trying to come back. Of course, they understand what happened in those years. France will have to sit down and restructure its policy towards non-white citizens for them to do business. If they don't do that, if they want to stay in purity as they think they should be, it is a losing proposition. That's all I want to say.
All right. We are going now to open the phone lines to our listeners to call in and give us their take on this visa ban subject. But let me ask you one quick question, both of you. What do you think the political class in La République du Cameroun, not in Amazonia, in La République du Cameroun, what do you think they are thinking right now? Especially when you consider the fact that they are also trying to make Frank Biya become their next president. Do you see the political class in that country trying to say, we got to do something? We got to start strategizing to take over. Do you see that happening?
Can I take that?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Professor John, go ahead.
Yeah, listen. Chris, I don't see a political class in La République du Cameroun as we speak. Listen.
Not a political plan, the political class.
Yes. Let me tell you.
Okay.
There is no political class of any significance now. When Cantu started, he gave some significance in La République du Cameroun, but he himself messed it up. You cannot fight a dictator by winning elections. He went after he won election and I took it from him. He went out of the country, came to America, went to Europe, and instead of building a rebellion to go back and to try to fight back, a dictator that has been there for 40 years, he went back and offered himself and was arrested. And from the day he was arrested and jailed and came out and arrested and locked again in house arrest, his people are still in jail up to now. That his political prowess has watered down. Now the SDF is totally finished in Amazonia. They don't have anything in Amazonia, but they pretend to have 2 to 3% in La République du Cameroun. And what are they doing? They are picking the crumbs from the RDPs, from CPDM. And I don't know, the only political class you can talk of is the one-party system that exists in La République du Cameroun called the CPDM. And what do you call that a political class? I don't know. Those are a group of people who have taken advantage of the country. They have taken the country hostage, and everybody else is just sitting and watching. There's no political class in La République du Cameroun. Having said that, I don't see them winning anything. So all I care, Frank Biya can become the head of state of La République du Cameroun. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern us in Amazonia. We are not going to have to picture our life based on whether Frank Biya or who else come to power in La République du Cameroun. Because they are messed up as it is. They are divided into 3 major groups. You have the Beti Bulu group, you have the Bamile case, and you have the Northeast. And I am afraid that if after we restore our sovereignty and we're totally gone, that place will disintegrate into 3 different parts. How do you bring them together? It's a very interesting case to watch.
Right, I don't want to add, I mean, Barrister John has given, I mean, most of it. In my opinion, it will be really intriguing to see what happens to La République after we go. Because when you have a government that depends on one person, and that person is just a lazy bum, you never see him. Some become cabinet ministers and leave. We never meeting the head of state. It becomes really intriguing how you can create a political class. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's the minister of defense. Anyway, people don't know that. The minister of defense is Biya. The minister of economy is Biya, which means that whatever happens to that country militarily or economically is actually Biya's fault and nobody else. So you can see the dilemma they face themselves. So I mean, anybody who is a specialist in chaos theory maybe can work some sort of mathematical equation to tell us the potential things that may happen to that country after we go. Because now, to be honest with you, I don't really know. It can go anywhere. We don't know what is happening on the ground, what the Northerners are thinking, what those in the Western region are thinking, or those in the Eastern Europe. Nobody knows. I mean, we have snippets of it from time to time, but how serious they are, nobody knows.
I think exactly the same. Let's get to the first caller here on the line. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Precisely what county on Ground Zero?
I'm calling from Bamenda County.
All right. Thanks for the call. What is in your mind?
Yeah, I just want to appreciate you guys for what you guys are doing. You guys are giving us a lot of hope. And we are the youth in this country, in this Amazonia country. So I believe that whenever we can forget one thing, but we can never forget what they did to us and what they have been doing to us in Ground Zero. Our hope is in us. Many people will say a lot of things about La Republique, that they have arms, but you guys have proven that we are not soldiers, but we are capable of doing anything by the grace of God. Like you people said earlier, you can never take a country by force. You can never, because everything is in place. And you can never take it by force, because you already know the truth. We are not stealing our country. This is our country. We are not criminals. This is something that it's like a marriage, like you people we always say. We do not join you people by force. And when we want to leave, let us leave. But it's like this, they want to use power and weapon. We are not afraid. They can never hurt us or hit us, because we have been used to with the gunshot, with everything. But we have decided to tell them that this is our ground, this is our city. We are the sons and daughters of this soil. I will never back off, no matter what. We will use all that we have to end this, to make sure that we get our country back, no matter what they have. If they like, let them go to outside country and get all the bombs and all the this and come to Ground Zero. They describe us as a cube of sugar. Yes, we are still a cube of sugar that we have refused to melt up to now, and we will never melt. We will show them that we are a different cube of sugar. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for the call. You guys remain safe on Ground Zero. Gentlemen, what do you see in that resilience there?
I can just say one thing here. I want to assure that gentleman that we are coming to the end of hostilities with this resolution. La Republique, no matter what, it's the beginning of coming to the negotiating table and an end to hostilities.
Okay, Barrister John.
Well, we are coming to the end of hostility, but we are not yet there. Our people should continue to fight. We know our territory. We own the land, and we know every nook and corner of Amazonia. La Republique cannot come from anywhere and defeat us on our land. We have proven that they cannot. Like the caller said, they are holding their own, and I will encourage them to continue to hold that. We in the diaspora will continue to make sure that they have what it takes to defend themselves. Thank you.
All right, let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yes, I'm calling from Germany. My name is Cyprian.
Okay, thanks for calling, sir. What contribution do you have today?
Sir, I don't have much to say. I just want to say that the move of the United States is good, is a good step. But for us, the Amazonians, this is a time for us to step up the game. That is, I'm hereby taking this advantage to ask Amazonia, or to encourage Amazonia to draft like they have never drafted before. Especially the Amazonian from Kuma LG. Let them draft like they have never drafted before. Let it be the starting. Let it be that it's now that we are starting this struggle. That's my message to Ambazonia. Let them know that it is because of our firepower, what we did for the last week, that is pushing these people to talk like this, to force La Republique on the dialogue for the dialogue. So we have to do it more than we have ever done it before. That is my message, sir.
Thank you. And I think you are very, very correct. It is our resilience, ladies and gentlemen, that has taken us to where we are today. Just imagine if we had given up 6 months ago, 4 months ago, 1 year ago. We would have taken back everything, and we would be back to square one. But thank God for those Ambazonia fighters on ground zero who have kept the war going on. Barrister John, I see you smiling there. What do you have to add there?
Yes, the day that La Republique moved into Mante, and those young boys, even though most of them died, they put up the type of resilience that they put up, gave the rest of Ambazonia the courage to fight back. And we thank God for what happened in Mate, and we thank God for Manu, and we'll continue to thank God for everything that Ambazonia has done so far. We, like we say, this revolution is God ordained, and like the callers are saying, we are resilient. We will continue to be until this matter is brought to the logical end, and we'll have our country back.
All right, thank you, Barrister John. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening, Chris. Can you get me, please?
I can get you, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Brazil.
Brazil, wonderful. All right. What is your contribution, sir?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you and the panelists for the great job that you guys are doing, or you've done today. My question, I want you just to know why we are not drafting, because with this American sanction coming up, I mean, like with the visa ban putting on these La Republique Turks, why should we not? Start doing our drafting right away? Because this is really a very good news for us. This is the moment to show to the world that we mean our business. I mean, we really mean what is called freedom, to free ourselves. So my proposal is that we should just start drafting. Even if I think we can draft for those counties that are actually doing a great job, like Bui, Gotekunja, Libe Alem, and Fako, Muluka, and other parts that are doing good jobs, we can really start drafting to support them. So I would like that you are the interim government should at least come up with this drafting within the shortest time possible, because we don't have any more time. We know La Republique is out of question. I mean, La Republique knows that they are gone. So this is a time for us to put more power. You can see a lot of La Republique soldiers have defected. This I can assure you. We have information. They've run away. Some have gone to Nigeria. Some have gone to Gabon. Some have actually, some are committing suicide. So this is a time for us to put more firepower that they are so discouraged. So we have to put more firepower by drafting.
All right. Thank you.
It's over. La Republique is over.
Thank you. That's a very pertinent point. And Barrister John, you should know why they are not yet drafting. You are in IOC.
We will be drafting. Yes, Chris, we will be drafting very soon. You know, we have to take time and do a good draft this year, because we have learned from the draft of 2020. So we need now to put all that in place. IOC just finished its evaluation, and we are ready for a draft. The resource mobilization led by Nijo and my Arengwa, who is the deputy secretary for the treasury. They are working hard to put it together. I think in the next 1 or 2 weeks we shall be drafting. Oh, Chris,
yes. All right. Thank you, Barrister John. Let's get to the next caller. Hello, sir.
Hello,
Hello, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Gabon.
Gabon. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And what is your contribution, sir?
Okay, Secretary Chris, but I just want to, I wrote you the other day, but you didn't say anything. We have been asking, we want to pay our, we want to draft, we want to pay our, I don't know, we call it draft, we want to pay our CID, something like
okay,
that. Please.
Right.
How are we going to do that, sir?
Do you have bank cards in Gabon like Visa and MasterCard?
MasterCard, no. We just have I have a Orange mobile money.
Okay. Let's do this. Send me a message again, and I will direct you to those involved in that, and let's see if they can give you some headsway on how to do that.
Chris.
Okay, please, I just wanted to say something more. Please, you know, there is this saying that at times you beat a child with your right hand and you bring him back to you with the left hand. I just wanted to plead, if we can just pardon those other guys, the Sako and his group, please, because this issue, you know, yeah, people.
We should pardon who?
Because we are we should pardon Sako and Ayabacho. I'm sorry.
So that was a slip of the tongue, right?
But I wanted Ayabacho and the group, please. You know, we can call him a child. You know, he has made a mistake. Let's just forgive, because from the looking of things, just that he can't really come out clear and apologize. So please, I'm just pleading, because when we are together, that's how things easily move together.
All right. Hold on there. I hear you, and I think you make a lot of sense. However, let me ask you this question. You have a child who steals every time you put meat in the pot and go away. He comes back and takes 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And you come home, get him well beaten. You leave tomorrow, he comes back, do the same thing. You beat him, you leave, you go out, you come back, he has done the same thing. And you just do as you are suggesting, to just forgive this child and say, well, what can I do? That doesn't work, right? That works when, you really want to move on when you see the ability, the tendency in the child to want to also walk away from the wrongdoing he has been doing. This is the picture. When you have somebody who doesn't have any remorse for the crimes he has committed, for what he has done, to maybe prolong this struggle. How can you say, let's just move on as if he is no longer there? So please, it's a good idea, but that should come with some remorse, or from somebody who is ready to say, I have done wrong. We haven't seen that yet from Ayaba. All right, but thank you for the call. I will let the panel to take care of this. All right, Dr. Mungwa, see your hand up. Go on, please.
Okay, first, there must be consequences to actions. If we don't have that structure in our society, things will never work. We can't just always go with pardon. There must be conditions that we have to define for somebody to get a pardon. And it's not just going to be randomly given out to people. So the caller made a very good point. People can be pardoned, but the structure of the pardon must be very clear. I also wanted to make a comment on what the previous caller talked about, drafting. I think we just have to be correct. We've already started drafting. The cabinet has already drafted. So for those who think that we haven't started, I think the fact of the matter is that it's easier for the cabinet because we understand the rules, we understand the urgency. Now we'll be moving to the general public. And there are certain things that had to be done in order to make sure that all the lessons learned from the past drafting were corrected in order to get a much better productivity or yield, if I can put it that way, moving forward. Correct. But the drafting has actually started. because I've already paid my draft. So,
Correct.
that's
I've also paid my draft, and
yes.
I want to say that Chris, you have answered the question correctly, and I have nothing to add. Until Ayabacho shows remorse, we have nothing to do with him.
Caller here. Hello.
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 Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am calling.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maryland.
From Maryland. Okay. What is your contribution, sir?
Yes, I have a quick question. I listened to the message from Tibonagi. He was asked a question, I think it was in the American Congress, if Cameroon, if Ambazonia was due for its independence. And he said, no, he didn't think that. So my question is he going to control our destiny? Are we going to allow him to make, or the American government to make that decision for us, whether we get independence or not?
Thank you. That's a good question. However, I will tell you that you don't have to worry about some of the declarations that these people they make. I guess if you had asked Thibault Naj a few years ago whether Somaliland should become an independent state, he would have said no. But I read his tweet recently saying it's too long. It's been too long for Somaliland to remain under the current status it is. He is advocating for Somaliland to be recognized immediately. Listen, we should not be worried about the declarations that individuals make, whether they are in government or not. What matters is what we Ambazonians think, what we want to do. The level of perseverance we have to put in this. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is about us. It is about us. It is not what the U.S. says, even though we may be excited here about this visa ban, but ultimately, the end result of this thing depends on all of us.
Exactly, Chris, because we know how related the United States and America and France are, and they are working to safeguard their interest on both ends. Correct. So they must be working in order to say, okay, we don't want independence from Amazonia because they know France is benefiting from Amazonia and from Cameroon. So that will work for them. I think that your answer makes sense to me. It is all for us to decide our future and our destiny.
Absolutely. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, but may I just add that a free and prosperous Central Africa will actually
Dr. Mungwa, I see you trying to say something there. Go on, sir.
Oh. Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I'm saying that just to add on to what the gentleman said. In fact, in reality, with peace in Central Africa, Ambazonia included, will actually create more prosperity to the Western powers. We've seen that in other countries. Nigeria has developed. You see the number of French firms, American firms. They're making a lot of money. Like other places, Tanzania, Kenya, and so on and so forth. So you can't perpetually put people at war with the feeling that, oh, we are going to make money out of them. It doesn't really work that way. When the risks go up, your cost of operation goes up significantly, really significantly, because put it in perspective, if you need your field engineers to go and work on Ambazonia, each of them need 5 bodyguards because they are not sure if the locals will allow them there. Do you think your cost of production will go down? It's obviously going to go up, and many other things will go up. And a businessman doesn't want to hear about cost of operation going up. They want it to go down. So it just makes sense that if there's peace in Ambazonia, it will open up opportunities for many. That's all I have to say. Over to you, Chris.
All right, thank you. Let me get to our next caller here, please. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Okay, I think this is poor connection here. All right. Hello? Okay, again, that's a poor connection there. Let's see who else is trying to connect. It's another bad connection there. All right. Okay, we are definitely going to end it here, ladies and gentlemen. The calls coming in have bad connection. We're going to call it a day here. Let me give you the last word, both of you. Barrister John, I'll start with you, please.
Thank you, Chris. It's been another good show. All the message that we carry home to our people is that they should be resilient as before. Our fighters, I send them 21 gun salute, that we are where we are thanks to them, and we will continue to support them so that they can continue to fight for our liberation. And I thank everybody, especially our population that have suffered for these 4 or 5 years, being killed by La Republique du Cameroon. We have been burying people every day. Let La Republique to bury their own citizens and cry too, like we have been crying. I thank you all for being there. And Chris, thank you for inviting me once more.
Thank you, Barrister John. Look forward to seeing you back, sir. You have a great evening there.
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Mungwa, please.
Thank you, Chris. This has been a great program, hitch-free. And I appreciate the fact that we're able to go through a lot of issues that will enlighten or make Ambazonians understand exactly what is happening to the liberation movement today. There are lots of unsung heroes, even as of now, as far as our fight is concerned. And when you talk about the local people, the hate and the injustice that they've received from La Republique, without turning away from our people, we talk about our fighters. I mean, how these ladies and gentlemen, with little or no military training over a period of 5 years, have become probably one of the best you can find in the region. And ultimately, I would like to thank the IG and President Sako, who had the vision to look at the tactical move or the strategic ideas that he brought to change the course of this war. This is something that many people don't realize. It was the strategic decision that President Sako took a year or so ago, which led into a lot of research within our military ranks, and for us to develop the sort of weaponry that has been a game changer till now. And we will never forget that. It didn't just come out of nowhere. People had to sit down and think and make tests and do prototypes and test them and make sure that it worked. And ultimately, from the 1st of January this year, we saw a turn in La Republique's fortunes. So I thank everybody for this, for being part of this.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mungwa. Thank you for your articulation. I hope you come back again. You have a great night, sir.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the day. I look forward to being with you again on Monday. Everything going well, I will be back here on Monday. For those of you who tune in from Ground Zero, please, you go home, have a really good night's sleep, and let's hope again we will see on Monday. Good night, and God bless you all. All right.
fellow Ambazonians, dear countrymen, despite the hike in targeted summary execution of our innocent people by Paul Biya's killer squads, I still believe we are now at the twilight of our political daybreak, emptying the combined worth and wealth of a lifetime fortune into the country of our collective dream.
A place we can surely call home.
At last, my people, the wind of total liberation is sweeping through Ambazonia, our priceless inheritance.
The land of our forebears.
A place we can surely call home.
A few years ago, a vicious dictator declared war on our sovereign nation of Ambazonia. It is a war we did not seek nor provoke, but are determined to muster every strength we can harness and continue sending the message to our enemy that we have risen to call home.
We have paid dues for everything. We pay tax for goods we buy. We pay fuel in our cars. We pay hospital bills and the dues for all other sacrifices.
I can give all I have for the one hope that I have.
Because I hate my theology and I should proudly Amazonian.
Let's get it straight. The freedom of Ambazonia will not depend on the free will of our enemies.
Independence will be but days away if we get it right with our CID.
My dear comrades, I am appealing to every Ambazonian to register with the CID program.
We have no control over our distorted history, but with our CID, we can set the pace and determine the future of Ambazonia.
Yes, the hope for the future is in our hands. As an Ambazonian, my identity is conclusive. My right is guaranteed. My vote will always count as I pay my CID.
As an Ambazonian, I will shape the future with my CID.
With your CID of just $10 per month, the interim government is contract to fulfill all that you wish to be done.
Let us build the freedom mentioned from the little block, which is our CID levy.
There will be food for everyone, hope for every child, justice for every citizen when we pay our CID levy.
Yes, the dream we can realize. With my compulsory independence dues, CID, I have the opportunity to give to the next generation a greater nation, better than we inherited.
Yes, CID program is freedom made easy, freedom made cheap, freedom for Amazonia now.
Mrs. Engineer Bissong Senior Charles Tato of Houston. Nevene ne kane tong dube bako. Oh no, Madame Angela. Oh, no. madamo. Auna. Ah, auna. Ngomoriomo. Ajo kele bobe. Ngomoriomo. Abeta sumo manyu. The governor of Manyu culture. Auna. Mano yese akone kombeo. Mano yese abene benbeo. Seseko yese ayebembeo. Mano yese abene benbeo. Ngomoriomo. Dr. Angene Bissong, PhD. Oh no. Mano yese akone kombea. Bissong Junior Charles. Bissong Ebolechu. Seseko yese ayebembeo. Mano yese abene benbeo. Ngomoriomo. Bissong Eyong Jam George. Ngomoriomo. 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 Ngomare bebio. Ngomoriomo. Mano yese abene benbe. Ngomoriomo. Mano yese abene benbeo. Ngomoriomo. Seseko yese abene benbe. Ngomoriomo. Mano yese akone kombeo. Ngomoriomo. Oh no. Ngomoriomo. Aha. Ngomoriomo. Nebele ne tondu woko. Ngomoriomo. Ngomoriomo. Ngomare bebio. Ngomoriomo. Ajo, the coordinator and organizer. Kwaiga Timo. Mosele anakwaba for Mafate. The one of Manyu. Oh no. Seseko engineer Bissong Charles Tato of Houston. Ne Madam Angela Bissong. Oh no. Oh mama Menkau. Mr. Ibi Aretako. I have a pinito. I have a pinito. I have a pinito. Akone kombea. I have a pinito. Pinito kere chame kama. I have a pinito. Ajo. Madam Angela. Nebele ne tondu woko. Omena fuwa puko me pinito. Seseko inji. Seseko esa kumu pinito. Ayabo. Ayabo. Madam Angela. Akone kombea. I have a pinito. Apene benbeo. Oh no. Nai manuba neru. On fait manuba ya cheche. Ha! I have a pinito. I have a pinito. I have a pinito. Akone kombeo. I have a pinito. I have a pinito. Apene benbea. I have a pinito. Pinito kere chame kama. I have a pinito. Ajo. Achitone bo seseko. Bo seseko manyu. Omono bachitone seseko Bissong Charles Tato. Aha. Ao. 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 Mena begitonya paputo. Mena begitonya paputo. Mena begitonya paputo. Mena begitonya paputo. Ngomoja bari onyabachi tomaja memache. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Ngomoriomo. Evo doctor. Ajo. Oh mano ekanato. Tomaja memache. I have a Seseko engineer. Senior Charles Tato of Houston. Seseko engineer Charles Tato. And they'll sing Nyabachi tomaja memache. Nakere bobe sogo bobe tu. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Ngomoriomo. Mambenkau. Mambenkau. Ha. Ah, the governor. Kwaiga Timo. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Ngomoriomo. Ngomoriomo. Maja memache. Ngomoriomo. Maja memache. Ngomoriomo. Maja memache. Mena begeto maja putwa nyobe. Mena begeto nyakwa putwa nyobo. Mena begeto nyakwa putwa nyoba. Mena begeto nyakwa putwa nyobo. Ngomoriomo. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Ngomoriomo. Seseko engineer. Ne Madam Bissong Tato. Kwaika. Hey. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Nyabachi tomaja memache. Ngomoriomo.